Welcome to Bakerstreet.coasters, where today I am going to go through, well, firstly, it is really sad to see that the closing season has come to a close. Couldn't have put that any better myself, but anyways, so yeah, today I am going to be on about 2023 and my best parks in the UK. So let's start off with number one. Or should I say number one, which is probably meant to be number 9 because it's probably the worst. But oh well, we roll with it. So we've got Gullivers Kingdom. Now I haven't been back there for ages. I went last year, but this year I kind of took a break from it. Gullivers Kingdom is an amazing theme park. I absolutely love it. You got Antelope. You have the dinosaur area. Not only that, you have the new roller coaster that's like a spinning one. It's just Spinball Wizard 2.0 but smaller. But Gullivers is a do not miss attraction, which is just an amazing for everyone, and I have to say, it really does stand out above the other parks. Mostly, some of them, out of the littler parks. Anyways, so we move back on to number 2, which is second last, which is Drayton Manor. Now, Drayton Manor Resort, I haven't been back for ages. Now, I mean millions of years. The last time I went was with school, and that was when Accelerator, literally the year Accelerator opened, because I was there for Ben 10, the Ultimate Mission, which was also Accelerator, just renamed, because I remember Cartoon Network Land used to be there. You also had the Haunting there, you had Shockwave, G-Force, which is no longer there. You had a Runaway Mine Train, which is no longer there, which I cannot find anything about Drayton Manor's Runaway Mine Train. You also have Apocalypse, you have the Mississippi Showboat, which is sinking, alongside another park, which is also on my list, which is also sinking. So yeah, Drayton Manor is an amazing, absolutely amazing theme park to go to, I'm not joking. And they've also announced this year, well, today, that the closing of not Stormfall's 10, but it could be, Shockwave will close and be replaced with sit-down cars. So it will no longer be the only roller coaster in the UK. It is the only roller coaster in the UK, but it will no longer be the only UK coaster that will feature stand-up, because they went, let's get more people on this ride. To make that, we need to make people sit down. So if we sit people down, they get more people on the seats. More money. That's basically what they've done, but it's also very accessible, and I can see why they've done it, especially when you're very little like I was, and I went on it, and the next thing you know is I had literally bruises on the side of my faces. It was really bad. Did I just say faces? On the side of my face. So yeah, that Drayton Manor is second to last. That's why I'd find it a bit strange, because you had coasters, you had the tallest rock down tower in the UK, and then they kind of just got rid of them. So, it's kind of an iffy one at the moment. On my third one, it has to be Crealy, because, why not Crealy? I love their Runaway Mine Train. I love how it's based around Sooty, the TV show. And the whole place is just an amazing area. It's based in a holiday camp, so, if it's based in a holiday camp, of course, it's going to feature a beach, which it does. So, we've got best of both worlds, and that's why I kind of like it. So you could take that fill factor away and bring it back from the beach. It is what it is. Then we go to number 4, which is Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach. Now, I have to say, we had a caravan down in Great Yarmouth for at least 5 years, or 4. So, we're kind of used to Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, and I absolutely adore their roller coaster ride, which is probably the second oldest wooden roller coaster in the UK. Now, it was meant to be the oldest, but unfortunately, in its early years, it kind of caught fire, and then fire and wood do not go, as we know. Like, look at the Great Fire of London, that definitely didn't go. So yeah, we had fire with a wooden roller coaster, it didn't go, they rebuilt it, and that's why it doesn't make it the oldest roller coaster in the UK, but it makes it a manually run roller coaster, which means that ride operator does not sit there on the station. He actually gets on the ride every single time, standing up, because you've got to be that operative going, sit down, there you are, standing up. But anyways, we roll with it. So yeah, that's why I absolutely adore Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach. You've also got some mini little coasters. You've got the Moana thing that used to be there, it's no longer there. Then they replaced it with a ice one, which is still in its way. Don't know what happened to that. It's meant to come this year. God knows where it's gone. And then you've got like the drop down tower. You've got the snail ride. It's just amazing. I absolutely adore that park, and the fact that it's by the beach as well. When you're climbing up, inclining on that wooden roller coaster, you're just like, yes, the beach. You're literally facing the sea if you look left. Trust me. So that was number 4. Now we're in number 5, which is kind of the bigger parts because I haven't been to any other. But I would say number 5, not the bigger parts, smaller park. Just remembered the sail ride and the tidal ride at Joyland, and the roller coaster at Joyland. Also an amazing thing. And I had to say that has to be number 5. Very sorry, Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, but number 5 has to be Joyland because I absolutely adore that ride. I adore that whole park, you know. You've got Atlantis, you've got the snails, you've got the tidal twist one, you've got the roller coaster up in the air, which is in the hill, you've got the vampire one. It's just amazing. I love it. And the fact that they keep it all in that enclosed area as well, it's just like, whoa. So number 6 would be Legoland Windsor Resort. Now, I boast about how well and how much I love the Dragon, and it's got to be one of my top 5 coasters, which I will do. I'll update it soon. Actually, I have it somewhere. I did do it once. It's here somewhere. Anyways, so yeah, the top 5 roller coasters, and one of them was the Dragon, and it's still up there because it features a really nice storyline before inclining up to like a huge drop. It's not quite a big drop, but the Dragon at Legoland just gives that thrill factor and that storyline aspect. Whereas if you look at something like the Smiler, it's just like, join us, ha ha ha, let's do our first inversion indoors. And then you've got these TV screens that the front row never sees. And then you go around 7 loops, and then you come back and you also have the same issue with the front. You can't see the TV screens. So, you know, we roll with it. But yeah, having that storyline and then going straight up to the ride is amazing because it's also, the ride's indoors and then it's outdoors. What ride do you get that on? The Smiler. Like any coaster that like has an indoor thing. Wait, they all do, but oh well, we roll with it. So we also know that Legoland this next year will get a new coaster. We've heard absolutely nothing about this coaster. All we know is that planning a permission for a dueling coaster, probably something to do with a racing one, probably something to do with Ferrari, because you know Ferrari also came this year and went, we are going to build 500,000 bricks of a car and just place it in build and play. Yep, just random. So that is actually quite cool to see another coaster, because we have 2 coasters at the moment, 3 coasters. Dragon's Apprentice, the Duplo Dino, which I've never been on, and then you have got the Dragon, the original one. Sorry. So yeah, that is why Legoland has to be my sixth best overall park on my whole list. So then we move on to our 7th one. Now our 7th one has to be, did I put Thorpe Park? No, I did put Thorpe Park twice. Chessington World of Adventures. I don't know why I put Thorpe Park twice, you know. But yeah, has to be Chessington World of Adventures, only because it brings that feel factor. It's a lot better than Legoland, but then there's also that, yet again, we did get some really good ride availability from the time we went in the 30th, 2nd, 1st, I don't know. It was the 1st of November. Jeez, duh. Can you hear how I'm driving like that? Anyways, so yeah, 1st of November, we got some really, really good ride availability, which was amazing. Went to Mandrill Mayhem twice. Now, it's a bit bumpy at the front. I got in the front and I also got in the back, and the front's definitely really bumpy, and that's why it kind of brings it down a little. Because you think a new coaster could have some really perfect wheel strength. No, it's just like squares. Just going, especially when you go up that first half inversion, it's just like, what? So yeah, that is why Mandrill Mayhem kind of brings it down a little, but I love the like thrill of that ride, and the fact that you actually get to go around the dragon, and in the nights and even in the day you see the jaw and it glows up. I didn't even notice that till the lastminute.com. So it's always good to see that aspect of how the ride works, and it's got some really good scenery around it. Jumanji themed. You've got the pieces around the area. You've got the mandrels, and the mandrels back. You can sit on the back facing backwards, or you can sit forwards and facing forwards. But either way, you're going to sit backwards, and you're going to face forwards and backwards, because it's a what do you even call the ride? The shuttle coaster. And the fact that it is a B&M winged shuttle coaster is also an amazing aspect, because we don't have that in the UK. We only have a B&M circuit coaster, which is at, let me guess, Thorpe Park, and it's been there for at least, I don't know, but yeah, no, it's been there for at least 10 years, 10 years. I don't know. Last time I had it was quite a long time ago, actually. And then look at Thorpe Park, and they're getting Hyperia, but more on that in a minute. So after Chessington, whereas I've got Thorpe Park here, but Chessington, we've got Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Now, I haven't been back for Blackpool Pleasure Beach for ages, and I think it was the year before Icon, so I have not been on this multi-launch coaster, and I haven't been on the big one. I have not been on any roller coasters apart from Grand National at Nickelodeon Street, and another one which I really can't, I forgot. So yeah, we've got Wallace and Gromit, which is also, I really can't agree. I can agree that that's probably the second best dark ride in the whole entire UK. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that dark ride just tells a story, and it tells multiple stories in one big storybook box. And then you also have Alice in Wonderland ride, which is also an amazing dark ride, has to be third. You've got Haunted House there, fourth best dark ride in my opinion. But yeah, you've got multiple choice of dark rides, you've got multiple choice of outdoor rides, you've got loads and loads. You've got the big one, which is the big one in the UK. It's the biggest one at the moment, until Merlin tops it next year with 236 feet high with speeds over 80 miles per hour. So having that dark ride overload in that area on the beach is just amazing. The only drawback is when you want to go on the big one, just don't go on a really windy day, because the big one will never be open. The fact that it's by the beach, it's like, oh yeah, you're inclining, oh no, it's falling back. Because when it gets to that lift hill, the whole coaster is out of the operator's control. The only way the operator can stop the ride is by block sections, and block sections are the things that stop the ride from working, and they're like either at the station halfway, like the Smiler, or at the top of the lift hill, when if a car does not go to the next block section, the other one won't be able to go down, basically. Anyways, so yeah, that's more of the coaster stuff, and I'm not bothered with that stuff. I'm all about parks here. So moving on about number 8, and we've got Thorpe Park. Thorpe Park Resort. I love this. This whole thing's just amazing, and you can kind of guess what my top one is. But Thorpe Park gives some really amazing coasters. They have no height limits, so we've got none of that tree limit. Let's put green tracks on our rides so it can't be seen from ages away. Wonder what part does that? Oh wait, it's one I haven't mentioned yet. You've got the Swarm, which is a B&M wing coaster, which is first in the UK, and it's the only one in the UK that has a full circuit. You've got Nemesis Inferno, which is a B&M inverted coaster, which is also not the first, because you've got that's the sister of another park. But yeah, it's the only B&M coaster open at the moment until next year. But it will be the oldest. It will be the oldest track of a B&M inverted in the UK. You also have stuff like the Saw, which is a Gerstlauer Starfighter model. People say it's called people say it's called a shopping trolley. I don't get why they say that. I haven't been in it myself, so I don't know. You've got Colossus, which I have no clue who did even make that track. I don't know. You've got a Samurai that gives off 5 Gs. Even though I did read that Samurai has got a lot less ride speed than it used to when it was at Chessington, because it originally was called Samurai Chessington. It now sits next to Saw, which is pretty weird. But yeah, it's very slow now, and I don't know why. You've got Hyperia coming next year, and I've already said about that, 236 feet, 80 miles per hour, over speed of that, and it's golding. We've got the Iron like no other, or it was like no other, God knows what it's going to be called now. You also don't have the Thorpe Park logo. So basically the whole entire thing's just wiped out. You've got Angry Birds leaving this year, you've got the logo leaving, you've got Loggers Leap leaving, you've got Hyperia joining. That's literally it, because you've got the music leaving us, you've got, well, Darren Brown left us this year. This is bad. What else did we see leave this year? Oasis. I swear Oasis left Thorpe Park. Not joking. But yeah, everything's just leaving. What's next? Saw. On the release of Saw X, 10 is way too many. It beat the power of 10 guys. So you've got Colossus opposite Saw. You've got to get rid of Saw. I could just see Thorpe Park doing that now. You've got Walking Dead The Ride, which I bet that will leave too. But yeah, many discussions go towards what the area of Angry Birds will be. Many people are pleased that Angry Birds are gone. I mean, I'm so happy Angry Birds are gone. Half of those Rovio characters, like the Red Bird, who somehow gained, like feet, and he walked along the stage and he just stood there like waving his little, like, what do you call it, the wings, and they were like, oh, this is the last day of Red being here, guys, how do you feel? And everyone's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh god, what's happened? So yeah, somehow the bird got wings and flew away somewhere else. But I don't blame them. Rovio did get put under new management this year, so I think it was Sega. Sega brought out Rovio. But by doing that, they also got rid of the Rovio original Angry Birds app on the App Store. Even though there was a big craze last year when Angry Birds was back on it, so God knows. And it was paid for this year. You have to pay for it. I mean, I didn't have to pay for it ages ago. I could just keep it on my device and have it. Like, even if it gets took down from the App Store, who cares about the updates? It's literally a game. It's an amazing game. But when you take it off, it loses that reputation, which is pretty bad. So I don't blame them for their choices. You've also had Double Tea Party come in this year, which used to be Tetley Tea Cups, and then they changed it to the Teacups, and then it went Double Teacups. God knows what Double's got to do with it, but let's just say Pinky's up. So yeah, you've got all the IPs in that park. It's pretty strange, because when you look at another park, which I'm about to say, which is next on my list, which is the top on my list, you barely see any. I know I take it back, you've got areas full of them, but we roll with it. So anyways, that brings me to the last one, which turned 40 quite a few years ago. The Alton Towers Resort, of course. So yeah, there have been many dark rides open. Literally 2 dark rides open this year. It's literally been a year dark ride. You've got the Castle Alton Manor, which is probably the best out of the 2, and you've got Nemesis of Terror, which I think is an absolute joke. And there's more on that later about that, but I would tell you that probably tomorrow. But yeah, my full review on Nemesis of Terror will be tomorrow. But yeah, on about the Curse of Alton Manor, absolutely love it. I love how they've added new stuff for Scarefest this year with Curse. The whole entire queue line is lit up. Then you've also got different rides, such as the Smiler, which is, it needs a repaint. I can't say this. I've literally said every single episode of talking about Alton Towers. I swear I've already said, do a repaint, get a repaint, get a repaint. Merlin, get a repaint for the Smiler now. Then you've got Oblivion, which is the world's shortest drop in the world, like world's shortest drop of a roller coaster, because it literally holds you. It doesn't even hold you anymore. It just drops. And they were testing it when they was waiting for a part, and I'm like, how is this ride even work? If this ride's working, what part are you waiting for? It's on a seat. Can't you just replace a thing? Because I was literally stood in Twistotron queue line. You've got, oh yeah, the car was going round, but the ride was closed. But talking about Twistotron, you got Twistotron, Spin Jam. No, not Spin. Yeah, Spin. No. Yes, Spin Jam and another one, that's in Forbidden Valley. Funk and Fly, which are all leaving us. You know, they've completed their mission. They're like, okay, I'm going now, and they've just gone back to the retrograde and went, yeah, no. I don't blame them, to be fair. I want Enterprise back. Give me that Submission. Give me that Ripsaw. All those rides were flat rides, and they've just replaced them with newer, really bad replacement. Overall thing is, will another Retro Squad ride replace all those 3 rides, or will it just be the one of them, which will be like Spook Spin, because we're looking for that story. Now the only issue is with that whole entire title is the Retro Squad. Squad is 4. We've only had 3 in the whole park. Where's the logic in that? 4, 3. So yeah, that's got a lot to question here, because we've only had 6, and that's still 3 and 3. Like, the only 4, we've got 2 left. So yeah, we've had a lot of things that leave us. Well, today is the last day of leaving. So you've got Retro Squad leaving us, CBeebies Land, which is probably not going to leave us, but yet again there was discussion that Spinball Wizard is going to leave the park. Hopefully that does not happen, but it was meant to leave the park last year, but they decided to keep it on because they realised that, let's say Christmas would be very, very boring without Spinball Wizard, because Spinball Wizard is the only roller coaster open during the Christmas season, because everything else is like the Smiler dying of laughter. You've got 13 who went down to the woods. You've got Rita that didn't hold on tight. You've got the Wicker Man who didn't feed the flames. He died of hunger. You've got Oblivion who looked down, and you've got God knows what else. Oh, Galactica that entered air in their own cosmos. Yes, Spinball is probably leaving this season, but there are very many big discussions about that. It was meant to leave last year because I don't know, it was very, very old. It wasn't a very good thing. There was meant to be a new coaster going there, but then there was issues with ride capacity. There were issues with the Christmas thing because they did not make sure. Well, they didn't clarify that the new coaster that could go there could also work during the winter, so they have to keep on Spinball, which is very, very sad. So I don't think it will close, but hopefully it does close. Yeah, again, I love Spinball, so hopefully it doesn't close, but hopefully it does close and see the new coaster, but it'll be a waste of track because, you know, it's not the oldest coaster in the park. Get rid of the Runaway Mine Train and you'll be perfectly fine. Because everyone thinks that's boring now. It's like Choo Choo. You know, I can track up the whole thing. It's like up, and then you go back down. It's such a figure of 8, but like a really long line between it. No, don't cry. So yeah, you've got probably Spinball going, but probably not. You've got Retro Squad, which is definitely going. You've got Oblivion that can't go because it will just cause too much hazard to the environment and the stuff they've done to it. They were idiots for doing so. They've got to literally retract the whole thing if something goes wrong with that ride. They can't replace it. It's really sad. Looks like the government facility site will just stay as it is. What would that lead to the Smiler? Would it be like Smiler version 2.0? You got Oblivion like version 50,000. That'd be so funny. Or is it like the Black Hole Strikes Back? Or the Black Hole Strikes Back with laughter? Because, you know, totally they're not going to refill all that concrete that they literally dug out for the Smiler. So yeah, that is actually about it for me. The Smiler, no, Alton Towers is my top, so let me go through all again. So you got Gullivers Kingdom, Drayton Manor, Crealy, Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, Joyland, Legoland Windsor Resort, Chessington World of Adventures, Thorpe Park, and Alton Towers Resort. Now, I want to know your guys' best roller theme parks are. And remember to subscribe, smile always, remember to follow. It's up here, I think it is, down there. I don't know quite where it is anymore. I only watch this stuff for rubbish. So, yeah. Bye, guys. Smile always.